Good morning, and welcome to the National Guard Professional Education Center's Battalion Activations and Brigade Change of Command ceremony. We would like to thank all of you for coming today to witness this historic moment at PEC and to share in this special ceremony with Colonel Blanchard and Colonel Cherry. We especially appreciate each of their families present here today, and we would also like to recognize our distinguished guests. Thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem, followed by the invocation given by Chaplain David Woodward.
Okay, attend, ho!
Me. Holy God, thank you for your great and infinite blessings. Thank you for the blessing of liberty that has formed and upheld this nation. Thank you for raising up the Constitution to defend the personal responsibility and rights. For these responsibilities and rights come from you. Thank you for the men and women who have defended these on the front lines in their homes, legislatures, government buildings, and public squares throughout the world. At this time, we give thanks for the sacrifice of the Blanchard family. Thank you for the service and sacrifice of Colonel Blanchard, Michelle, Leland, and Delaney. We are thankful for the service and support of all that goes on here at PEC. Thank you, great God, for Colonel Cherry and the service and support of her family, for Kirk and Amelia. Please support us as we support thy worthy cause of liberty. Please help each of us understand and perform our duty. In the name of the Lord, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Woodward. Please be seated.
Barracks, secure guide on, move! About, haste! Parade, press!
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to welcome the Director of the Army National Guard, Lieutenant General John A. Jensen.
Well, that happened fast. I hadn't a chance to really sit down and look at the program yet. Hey, everybody, good morning. Thanks for joining us here today at the National Guard Professional Education Center. I am exceptionally humbled and proud to be here and help celebrate these two key events in the history of our Professional Education Center. One of them fairly standard, fairly normal, happens on a routine basis, and that is the change of command ceremony. The second one, the one we're going to get to first, is something that I think is very unique and very, very special, and that is the opportunity to stand up 6 battalions here in place of our training centers. That doesn't happen very often. The creation of a new battalion in the United States Army is something that does not happen very often, and to be able to stand up 6 new battalions here inside of the Professional Education Center and the Army National Guard is amazing. And so, you know, a little bit about why are we doing this? Why are we taking our Professional Education Center and our training centers towards battalion commands? And I'll give you a couple answers to that as it relates to my perspective as the Director of the Army Guard. And that perspective comes from a couple different views. Obviously, view number one is the current Director of the Army Guard and understanding the role and function that this institution has towards the readiness of our soldiers, our leaders, our formations. But also, I will tell you that my view comes from being a student here in the hallowed halls of our Professional Education Center. Like many of you, within that first year of getting hired as a full-time member of the Iowa Army National Guard, 1st Battalion, 168th Infantry, within that first year, I found myself here in Little Rock at Camp Robinson at this place called the Professional Education Center. Had no true knowledge of what this institution did for our Army Guard. But what it did for me personally is it took an infantry officer who was moving in to be the battalion administrative officer, and it gave me an incredible foundation and base of knowledge and skills that when I returned back to my battalion, I was significantly more prepared to do that job. And then obviously the constant mentoring of the senior NCO Corps really refined me to be an effective administrative officer. And then on, multiple assignments, and we walked through there. So I can tell you, and I told Leland this when I first came down here as the director, the motto, readiness starts here. I'm a firm believer in that because I saw that in myself. I saw what I was capable of doing before I attended my training here, and then what I was able to do afterwards. But as the director of the Army Guard, what I saw here was an opportunity to, I think, to continue the modernization efforts of the Professional Education Center. I never had the privilege of meeting Lieutenant General Weber and hearing what his vision was of this great institution. But I believe it was something like this, really, that he believed that by providing professional training with the highest caliber of cadre here at PEC, that we were going to return soldiers and leaders back to their units that were then able to immediately impact the readiness of their soldiers and their units. And so, as I mentioned, I'm fully bought into that idea. I fully believe in that vision. So this institution, in its 48 years of existence, has changed and will continue to change and continue to modernize. To meet, I think, what his expectations were, and certainly what my expectations are, which is an adaptive, innovative organization grounded in Army doctrine and regulations, informed by the expectations and experiences of the soldiers and leaders that come here. Now, the United States Army is a very command-centric organization, right? Battalion commanders, company commanders, first sergeants, and command sergeant majors play an incredibly important role in the lives of the leaders and the soldiers that they lead. So when I looked at PEC and I saw what our training centers were doing every single day, the impact that they were having on the readiness of the Army National Guard. The only thing that I didn't see is that we were not fully empowering the leaders of our training centers. The way that you fully empower somebody that has the role and responsibility that we were giving to these men and women is by making them commanders. This is not to say that anything that existed beforehand was wrong or somehow was not accomplishing the mission, but I think what we're going to see here under Colonel Cherry's leadership, kind of formed and maybe the initial steps by Colonel Blanchard, is an opportunity for the soldiers and leaders that come here to be better served, because they will be served by commanders and ultimately by command sergeant majors, whose only role and function in their organization, right, is to care for their soldiers, one, train their soldiers and their units, and make them the most ready that they can. And I believe in that vision, and I know that we're gonna move to that. And so again, as the Army is a very command-centric, command sergeant major-centric organization, by creating these opportunities here, I believe that what we're gonna see is the best talent in the Army National Guard that's available will be serving here at our Professional Education Center, which I think is incredibly important to the future readiness of our Army National Guard. So to the battalions that we stand up today, the 6 battalions that we stand up today, the Cyber and Information Advantage Battalion, Personnel and Organizational Readiness Battalion, Resource Management Training Battalion, the Sustainment, Installations and Environmental Battalion, Strategy and Leader Development Institute, and the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion. To all of the soldiers and leaders that are in those organizations today, I say congratulations. Welcome to the first day of a new organization. Your mission hasn't changed. Our high expectations of you haven't changed. We know that you will accomplish the mission as the people that were here before you have. So all those new leaders inside of those battalions, congratulations. I'm incredibly proud to be here on this momentous day as we stand up your battalions. And to everybody that's come in here today to spend a little bit of time with us as we activate these battalions and then say goodbye to Leland and hello to Kathy Cherry. Just thank you very much for your time and your commitment to this organization as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, General Jensen. A battalion activation ceremony serves 2 purposes. First, it allows the commander the opportunity to assess the readiness and discipline of the unit. Secondly, with the uncasing of the guidon, it marks a definite point in time to commemorate the beginning or continuation of a unit's history and lineage by carrying an important tradition of the United States Army. Founded in 1974, PEC's mission is to train agile and adaptive leaders ready to lead the Army National Guard and meet the challenges of tomorrow. At the heart of PEC are 6 training centers, which will now be activated as battalions. The activation of battalions signifies their key role in building agile, adaptive leaders who are trained and ready to meet the challenges in a dynamic operational environment.
Brigade, attend, move! SOICs, post.
The Information Technology Training Center was started in 2002 and is now the Cyber and Information Advantage Battalion. The battalion's mission is to provide cutting-edge, industry-standard training designed to meet the needs of our information technology and cybersecurity professionals in a challenging and dynamic operational environment. The Human Resources and Readiness Training Center traces its roots back to 1977, when the curriculum expanded from the 1975 class Administrative Supply Technicians to include the precursors to the current curriculum. Today, the Personnel and Organizational Readiness Battalion continues this proud tradition and critical mission to improve unit readiness by providing full-time National Guard personnel with the essential knowledge, skills, and tools necessary to perform their human resource management jobs at the highest level. The Resource Management Training Center was founded in 2007 and is now the Resource Management Training Battalion. The battalion's mission empowers the Guard to adopt a cost management culture which supports a fully mission-capable readiness posture. This is accomplished by providing relevant, foundational, and functional training to the Army National Guard to facilitate fiscally responsible execution of the national military strategy. RMTB is the lead provider of choice for delivery of an Army National Guard unique, TRADOC validated resource management course. The Organizational Readiness Training Center was first organized in 2002 with lineage back to 1992 and is now the Strategy and Leader Development Institute. The Institute is the premier joint education center for the National Guard, providing executive-level education to adaptive and innovative leaders ready to meet the challenges in a dynamic, multi-domain operational environment and to be able to generate plans and solutions to strategic-level issues and events across the force using innovation, improving processes, strategic planning, and management skills. The Strength Maintenance Training Center was started in September 1988 and is now the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion. The battalion provides institutional training to all personnel involved in the strength maintenance enterprise. Graduates of SMTB courses perform their duties in accordance with strength maintenance philosophy, which consists of recruiting, retention, and attrition management. The execution of these duties serves a critical role in support of annual Army National Guard and strength objectives. The Sustainment, Installations, and Environmental Battalion traces its lineage back to 1975 when 2 logistics training instructors were hired and added to the PEC TDA. On 6 March 1995, as elements from the Whitaker Education and Training Center's Logistics Support Center No. 3 in Pryor, Oklahoma, converged on the PEC campus, and the Logistics Training Center was established, training over 1,000 logisticians per year. In 2003, the Logistics Training Center was renamed as the Installations, Logistics, and Environmental Training Center. At present, the Sustainment, Installations, and Environmental Battalion trains nearly 4,000 students annually via 17 resident programs of instruction in the logistics disciplines of ordnance, quartermaster, and transportation. A change of command is a time-honored tradition for the orderly transfer of authority from the departing commander to the new commanding officer. Today, Colonel Leland D. Blanchard II will relinquish command of the Professional Education Center to Colonel Catherine L. Cherry. At this time, a bouquet of red roses will be presented to Colonel Blanchard's wife, Michelle. A bouquet of flowers to his daughter, Delaney, as well as a gift for his son, Leland. These are tokens of appreciation which symbolize the support Mrs. Blanchard and their children have shown for him, as well as his soldiers and their families. And now a gift will be presented to Colonel Cherry's husband, Kirk. A bouquet of yellow roses will be presented to Colonel Cherry's mother, Sandy, and a bouquet of flowers to her sister-in-law, Gina. These flowers symbolize friendship and the arrival to PEC. These tokens of appreciation symbolize the support she will receive from her husband and family, as well as her soldiers and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now witness the formal change of command for the National Guard Professional Education Center. The transfer of the guidon is significant in many ways. The history, traditions, and accomplishments of the unit are embodied in it. With the transfer, the unit's legacy is passed as a building block for future performance and achievement. Historically, the flag or colors of a unit served as the point around which the soldiers of the organization rallied as they moved forward into battle. The colors have traditionally been at the side of the commander and were carried forward even when the commander fell in combat. All others may perish, but the colors live on. The guidon is an extension of the unit colors. As Colonel Blanchard relinquishes the guidon to Colonel Cherry, he transfers the responsibility for the accomplishment of the mission and the welfare of the brigade. The senior non-commissioned officer of the organization is traditionally responsible for maintenance and care of the colors, and so Command Sergeant Major Cloyd E. Bookout passes the brigade colors to the outgoing commander, Colonel Blanchard, signifying the unit's appreciation for his leadership and guidance. Colonel Blanchard passes the brigade colors to the Director of the Army National Guard, Lieutenant General Jensen, signifying the relinquishing of his command and the gratitude for the opportunity to lead the brigade. Lieutenant General Jensen then passes the guidon to the incoming commander, Colonel Cherry, entrusting her with the responsibility and care of the unit. In accordance with Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 3-4, the undersigned assumes command of the National Guard Professional Education Center as of 16 June 2022. Signed, Colonel Catherine L. Cherry, Aviation Commanding. Colonel Cherry passes the colors back to the Command Sergeant Major, signifying her trust and confidence in the leaders and soldiers of the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of the Army National Guard, Lieutenant General John A. Jensen.
Hey again, everybody. Thanks so much for being here with us today as we bid Leland goodbye and Kathy a warm welcome. First off, to Command Sergeant Major Bookout and Lieutenant Colonel Bell, I would just like to personally thank both of you for the leadership that you've provided this organization while we pulled Leland out a little bit early. While it says that he's the commander till up to June of 2022. Quite frankly, I think we pulled you out, Leland, in April, and you've been doing double duty. Not anything different than any other guardsman's doing across the country, right? 2 jobs, but I am convinced, and I know that you all that were here still felt Leland's presence through his multiple daily phone calls back to the organization, right, Keith? So Keith never felt like he didn't have enough guidance to get through the day. But Leland, seriously, I know that taking you out, bringing you to the TARC so you could really begin the leadership there in the G3 team as Tony Adrian transitioned and stuff. I know it wasn't something that you really wanted to do, but you did it because you're a good soldier and you're a good leader, and that's certainly what we do. And so, Michelle, Delaney, and Leland, thank you so much. I know the family's been separated here while Leland was here commanding the Professional Education Center, and you guys remained out east. Thank you for your sacrifice, your support, and your love of your husband and your father. As I told Leland, as we passed the colors around, is that I truly believe Leland Blanchard made an impact here, a positive impact on this organization. Leland's one of those leaders, you just give him a little bit of guidance and he will take it absolutely as far as he can. He's a positive leader. He's a leader that people enjoy serving with. And so, Leland, for all of that time that you spent away from your family here doing this job, I really appreciate it. I look forward to the continuation of our professional relationship, you back in the G3 shop, as you and I have talked. We've got a lot of plans for you, right? So you just keep working hard, keep your head down, and doing the things that you've done throughout your career. And we'll get the things done that we need to. So I really appreciate that. And Kathy, thank you for accepting the challenge to come in here and be the commander of the Professional Education Center. This is a true story. I don't know that Kathy would share this. She shared this with me this morning at breakfast. We all have mentors in our life that play a significant role in our careers, provide you guidance, that help guide you down a path. And Kathy had a mentor that cautioned her about taking this job. We all have that experience at one point in our career or another where your mentor maybe gives you advice that you think maybe isn't completely accurate or right. And so Kathy, though, stood up and said, no, this is the right place, the right time for me to come to. And so for you and Kirk, for you to come here as well and be part of this great institution as our new command team. Thank you so much for that. Kathy, I don't know you well yet, right? But when I was presented the opportunity to select you to be our commander here at PEC, it took me less than a half a second to say yes to this. You are the right officer with absolutely the right skill set and experience to take this organization to the next step in line with what I believe was General Weber's initial vision and now our vision of what this great institution is going to be. So congratulations. I look forward to working with you in this new role. And before I step off, I would let's just do one thing. We didn't really get the chance to do this. So activating 6 new battalions, let's all just give a big round of applause to that. That doesn't happen every day in the Army. And so again, everybody that's here today, whether you're here for our activations or for our change in command, whether you're here to make sure Leland actually leaves or you're here to greet our new commander, thanks everybody for being here. God bless you all. Thank you.
Sir, thank you for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium the outgoing commander, Colonel Leland D. Blanchard II.
Okay, I'm going to do what they say you should never do. So I'm going to give a speech without having any preparation. All right. So let's see if I can keep this under an hour and a half. Okay. So first, General Jensen, I want to say thank you. Your leadership and guidance over the last 22 and a half months has been nothing short of inspirational. Your your willingness to engage has been amazing, and I appreciate it. So thank you for being here. Appreciate that. To all of our general officers, General Penn, general officers, distinguished guests, friends, family, and perhaps most important, the members of the Professional Education Center, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. To my wife, Michelle, we've been through quite a bit over the last 20 plus years. We've spent the last 2 years, and I think that's what a lot of people would say. It's been a tough ride, but it's all the other stuff that's not seen. It's me being TDY when a hurricane hits the house. It's me being TDY when a winter storm. Matter of fact, it's me being TDY pretty much every time something bad happens. This stuff that people don't see, it's the little stuff. It's being there when the kids need to be picked up. It's all of that. I know that, and I said this here recently, I could not have done this and could not be on this journey without you, but more important, I would not want to be on this journey without you. So, sweetie, I love you and I appreciate that. Really, that round of applause is because you've put up with me. They can't believe someone stuck with me for 20 years, so. All right, Mr. Burris. To my son Leland and my daughter Delaney. So I was doing some thinking, and so my son is a junior in high school, and my daughter will turn 12 this summer, here in about a month, actually. And I believe, Leland, this is your, I think you've gone through 11 PCSs. Delaney, at just as you hit 12, I think you've hit 8 PCSs throughout your life. So I tell you, children, they never sign up for it, but to both of you, I could not be more proud of the young people that you have grown into. Everywhere that you've been planted, you've blossomed, and as a father, there's nothing better than to see your children, again, raised primarily by my wife, let's be honest. But Leland and Delaney, I love you dearly, and I'm just so proud of you. So thank you for being here, and thank you for everything you've done. Appreciate it. All right, to the Cherry family. Kirk, I'm with you. Like, I never get flowers either. What's the deal with that? Right? Yeah, it is. You're right. It's Kathy, you need to fix that. I've doomed you to nothing but flowers for the remainder of your holidays. Sincerely, Kathy, congratulations to the Cherry family. I will say the same thing. Without you, without your love and your support, and it really does take more than just a husband. It takes more than a mother. It takes a whole family, all right, to be there, to come together when the times are hard, when there are losses, when there are departures, when there are arrivals, the transition, when someone's gone and come back. So thank you for being there for Kathy. Without our families, we're nothing. And I know, having gotten to know her over the last several months and talk, I can tell you that there are a couple of things that I know about Kathy Cherry that are extraordinarily important to her. One is her faith, and two is her family. So thank you very much. Appreciate having you here with us today. So I'll try to keep it brief, but I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to say thanks to all of those who have been just essential, really, to my career, to building me up in a lot of ways, not just as an officer, but as a man. Mentors, as General Jensen talked about, mentors. You're right, sir. Sometimes mentors may not get it right, but the importance of good mentorship, not just in the Army, but throughout our lives, cannot be overstated. It's just so critical. So while I can't recognize all of them, I want to point out a couple, and I'll start with now Lieutenant General Xavier Brunson. So he was the company commander who made the mistake of sending me to OCS way back when. But more important than that, And I keep saying more important because, you know, I repeat myself a lot, but to this day when I text him, he answers. And when you think about that, all the way back to when we first came together in 1995, the leadership that has displayed, that as one of his soldiers and truly displaying the passion for soldiers and mentorship and leadership, still being connected, still willing to take my calls, never being without insight and wisdom to offer me. And so he's one of those fundamental mentors that has played a role throughout the years. Lieutenant General Dan Bolger, the guy who once, Michelle's nodding her head, the guy who once after I gave a briefing, he said, Leland, when we go outside, I want you to wait because I'm afraid I'll be an innocent bystander when you get struck by lightning. Everything you just said was total BS. That's not the word he used. And I said, sir, what? Yes, sir. I'll wait until you get in your car and go. But through a couple of assignments with him, he demonstrated a true passion for soldiers, leadership, being engaged, and taught me a lot, even with those quick sidebars where he was offering some insight to help make me better. And then I think about guys like Major General Ray Carpenter, a person who taught me the importance of integrity, really being a man of your word and what that means, and you can never get it back if you give that up. Lieutenant General Bill Ingram, sir, I shared a story with you last night. General Ingram, I'll just share this real quick with you. After a few years after he retired, I went back to Fort Bragg for TDY, and he drove about 3 hours one way through the rain just to buy me and a couple of my soldiers lunch and offer some mentorship. Got in his car and drove back 3 hours. And again, just demonstrating the importance of being engaged and taking opportunities to offer mentorship and guidance. So I really appreciated that along the way. And then, of course, one of my best buds, I'm sure he's watching right now, Command Sergeant Major Steve Blackwood, a guy who, to this day, and I met him after he came out of uniform, but I'll tell you, I still stand at parade rest when I talk to him. That guy is the consummate professional and really understands the importance of giving back and staying connected and making sure that you're doing the right thing. In fact, he was one of the guys that watched when I took command, and when I got back to the office, he had a couple of texts correcting me on a few things, offering me some of that mentorship. Hey, you're a commander now, stand up straighter. So Steve, I love you, brother. And so with that, what I would tell you is every one of those leaders, every one of those people that's been influential in my career, they've really exhibited a couple of things that they all had in common. One is passion, and two is inspirational leadership, which I believe comes from the passion. It's very clear when you talk to them even now, as most of them have left uniform, they are still passionate, not just about being soldiers, but about the soldier. They are passionate, they invest a lot of their time. They understood that the most important responsibility of a leader was investing their time and energy into soldiers and building the next generation. And you can really only do that well if you have a real passion for what you do. Because passion is what allows you to stay late. Passion is what allows you to do it one more time, right, Keith? One more rehearsal to get it right. Yeah, there's a few battalion commanders who understand what I mean when I say one more time. Passion is really what allows others to see that this is a life worth leading. Because as we walk through this career, we walk through this journey, those young folks coming in, they want to know why. They want to know what that connection is, and they really get it from their leaders. And so if their leaders aren't passionate about what they're doing, it becomes really hard to connect to the purpose, and they start to question and wonder, why am I doing this? So I will tell you, passion is really important. And I know most of the people that have been at PEC have heard me say this multiple times. I can think of nothing more important than finding something that you are passionate about and going and doing that for the rest of your life. Because it's also what allows your family to suffer through some of those hard times, because if you found the right people, I'm telling you, they will become passionate about what you're passionate about. And I can tell you, every time that I'm hurting for a loss, Michelle is hurting as well. My kids see it, and so that passion, again, cannot be overstated. So I would encourage you, go do something that you're passionate about. And then the inspiration, and I'll just say real quick, the inspiration really comes from that passion. And so for everyone that is still in uniform, for everyone that is around particularly young people, for everyone that has an opportunity to serve in your community, take your passion, let it shine through, and I promise you, you will inspire many, many people. And so, Kathy, as I wrap up my remarks, not only congratulations, all the SIRs are yours now. I'm more than happy to take the calls and text, and I'll offer you insight, but I'm sure General Jensen will tell you behind the scenes, don't do it the way Leland did. But I'll tell you what you have the opportunity to do now, as you will see thousands and thousands of guardsmen and guardswomen come through these doors. You are now a mentor of mentors, a leader of leaders. Your responsibility now, as all of these instructors every single day touch hundreds and hundreds of lives. You're the commander. They're going to take their lead from you. And the motivation, the passion, the inspiration that you provide, they're going to turn around and they're going to inculcate that into their classrooms and with their soldiers. So it's a great responsibility, but I'll tell you, Kathy, I know you're up to the challenge. I'm excited to see where you're going to take PEC over the next couple of years, and Godspeed. God bless, and thank you, everybody.
Sir, thank you for your remarks. And on behalf of Team PEC, thank you for what you've done and continue to do that impacts the lives of Guard Nation. And at this time, we have a special presentation.
Okay, I think what we're going to do next here is we're going to issue Leland his change of command and PCS award. So everybody, attention to orders.
The Legion of Merit is being presented to Colonel Leland D. Blanchard for exceptionally meritorious service while serving as the commander of the Professional Education Center from 21 August 2020 through 8 April 2022. Colonel Leland Blanchard exemplified the very best we seek in leaders at the highest levels of command. Unwavering in his leadership, he directly impacted the readiness of more than 400,000 soldiers and civilians across the Army National Guard. His strategic vision and unmatched passion will have far-reaching impacts for many years to come across the 54 states, territories, and the District of Columbia. Distinguishing himself through commitment and performance, Colonel Blanchard's superlative accomplishments are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, the Army National Guard, and the United States Army. By order of the Secretary of the Army, signed John A. Jensen, Lieutenant General, Director, Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the commander of the National Guard Professional Education Center, Colonel Catherine L. Cherry.
So we're going to start with maybe lowering this a little bit so that you guys can see me behind the podium. I didn't have to practice this. They just showed me where the switch was, so I think I'm ready. Well, sir, thank you for the words, the challenge, and definitely taking an investment in PEC. I appreciate that as well as the team here at PEC. So good morning, friends, family, distinguished guests, visitors from around the world, both here at PEC and virtually. Thank you for joining in on this ceremony. Next, as Leland alluded to, I am a person of faith, so I need to thank God for this opportunity. I had many prayers asking him to come before and prepare the way. He continued to present people who would be encouraging. Leland, I cannot thank him enough. He has done a phenomenal job. I can't imagine a better handoff or somebody so passionate about this organization. So to that, Leland, thank you. Michelle, thank you for allowing him to be here and just working through. I'm so thrilled that he can be back with you and Leland and Delaney. I think that's probably the best part when he told me he was going back there. I want to thank my Guard family back in Georgia. General Carden, General Wilson, the whole team back there has been completely supportive. I have many mentors, guides, battle buddies, family, and friends, some of who are here today and those that are out there virtually. I can't put into words how each of them makes me feel special and is extremely supportive in times when I didn't even need or know I needed it. To my husband of 26 years, okay, it's only 26, but if you heard him, he said 27. He's not right yet. It's 95. So he said he never is right, is what he said over here. Mr. Comedian. I thank you for continuing to keep me straight. I'm going to let you in on a little family secret here. He is the boss. This is the third time I've given him an item that says the boss on it. This time is because it is for boat keys. One of the things about coming here is he gets a boat he's been looking for. And so I gave him, instead of yellow roses, I think I am okay, the floaty, and he will continue to send me until we find the right boat, text on, here's an option on Boat Trader. So to that, I have this for my husband. I will give him afterwards. To my daughter, I could not love being a mom more. My daughter, who is 20, our daughter, is in London right now doing a study abroad for Purdue. She challenges me, she blesses me, and she reminds me every day how important it is to lead by example. And for that, thank you, Amelia. My mom, God love her, she had 3 daughters. They all did military time. I don't know how she survived, but she did, and she still does, should I say, that we haven't gotten easier. I come from a very type A family. My brother-in-laws were both military, one nephew, and we jokingly say that we fight for the type A plus and A personalities, type A personalities, and that's very true. Thank you, Wendy and Dinah. Gina, my sister-in-law, is here. What an amazing supporter. She has a son and 2 son-in-laws who serve in the Army National Guard. Leland, once again, I appreciate what you have done to prepare us for this, and I thank the PEC personnel who are about to take on a challenge. They don't quite know what's headed their way, but it's something we can handle together. Great organizations are led by competent, caring, committed leaders of character that encourage an environment of trust, discipline, and mutual respect. I felt that from the beginning here at PEC, and we will continue that. Let us continue here at PEC, be a learning organization, for when you stop learning, you become irrelevant. rigidity becomes dangerous. And I can honestly say that I haven't witnessed that here at PEC and hope not to. The last point I'll make is about the National Guard of 2030 and 2040. Here at PEC, we are the enablers to readiness. We will continue to be the enablers to readiness. I too share a similar story as General Jensen. I was an aviation lieutenant back from flight school, and they offered me a full-time job to be the personnel and officer. Well, okay, but I want to fly. Well, they sent me here for 2 weeks to PEC, and that was my first time, and it was my start. And as I reflect back, it was my beginning of a passion for continuing education and sharing others' passion for continuing higher learning at an institute of this caliber. This is a premier institution of education. In closing, I'm extremely excited to motivate people to meet their potential, which is what this organization does. Thank you again all for supporting us, participating, and being a part of the team. Readiness starts here, always ready.
Thank you, ma'am, and welcome to the PEC family. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction and remain standing for the singing of the Army song.
Pray with me. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for thy grace and mercy upon us who are not worthy of it. We are thankful for your patience and pray that we can have the courage and strength to extend grace and mercy. We also pray that we will have the discernment to support you and your principles, and that we will have the courage to stand up to the giving of our lives for your principles. We are grateful that we can take an oath to the Constitution that you inspired. We are thankful for these battalions and our new commander. We are thankful for the service of our outgoing commander. Please bless and inspire both of them as we all press on in the work of defending liberty and truth. We pray we will return to thee and only be one nation under God. In the name of the Lord, amen.
March along, sing our song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought for victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For where we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. Ladies and gentlemen, this completes our ceremony. We will have a reception in the room next door. Please join us for refreshments and take the opportunity to congratulate the new commander. The air wall will open and the receiving line will start there with Colonel Cherry and her family. All are welcome. Thank you for your attendance and your continued support of the National Guard Professional Education Center. Sir, Malibu Boats